5 uses of clipping paths in Photoshop. Removing the background from a product. Multiple clipping paths for color mask and color corrections. Using multiple clipping paths to make a different color product from a single shot. Using clipping paths to recreate graphics and logos. Pen tool. Manipulating images with clipping paths. Divide products. Recreate graphics and logos. Color correction. 5 uses of clipping paths. Image manipulation. Background removal. Making use of clipping paths is an essential part of Photoshop. Examples of clipping path use can be found on photos across a wide variety of formats, from traditional print media such as magazines and on pamphlets, to online content from websites and adverts driving e-commerce. It is, ultimately, a fundamental process for any photo. After a photo has been shot, there are always a number of editorial tasks that will need to be done to elevate the piece to the exceptional level of quality that is possible thanks to the power of today's software. Whether it's a simple case of color correction, removing or altering backgrounds to make product placement have more impact, or retouching spots, and this is achieved via a number of Photoshop tools such as brightness and contrast, adjustment levels, curves level, color balance, and so on. 3. Using multiple clipping paths to make a different color product from a single shot. This process is quite similar to using multiple clipping paths to adjust or correct colors, as above. The key difference is that in this instance, a separate path will be created for each color on the product or image. This becomes extremely useful if, for example, you want to demonstrate a range of different color on your product, but only have one color available to photograph. This can essentially get your marketing up and running well in advance in such cases. This is achieved by creating a separate clipping path for every color in the product/image, which then enables each individual color and path to be selected and altered via the various tools in Photoshop. Image can be given a new lease of life as a high-resolution image and recreated perfectly. In addition to using clipping paths, a vector graphic can also be made in Photoshop. Furthermore, this can then be pasted into an Illustrator document, where you can reapply the color to the vector image by selecting the individual paths. For the best results, the image can then be saved in the Illustrator as either an EPS or PDF format, which results in a high-resolution vector graphics version of your image or logo. 5. Manipulating images with clipping paths. Clipping paths are also ideal when you need to manipulate an image, or parts of it in Photoshop. This is especially useful in fashion photography, when using a mannequin to model a garment. Clipping paths is essentially fairly simple, mastering them is not so straightforward. Firstly, keeping a steady hand and becoming fluent takes practice and expertise, but also a number of the key features, such as anchor points, shapes and so on, can be difficult to make use of properly. Understanding how to apply them correctly if you are a Photoshop beginner can be time-consuming and even frustrating, especially if you are unable to achieve the smooth finish that you know is possible. Thankfully, becoming an expert yourself is not necessary, as there are a number of companies operating in India and Bangalore that offer professional, high-quality clipping path solutions for all your Photoshop and image needs, whatever they might be.